Average at Best Cornhole back again, and got some more bags from one of the biggest names in the game, and that's Ultra. And today we bring you the Psycho R and just the regular Viper.
Ultra bags, Viper. I mean, the bag was huge back in the day. And I think probably it was so popular because it was different. Nobody was doing that with the control dots. And then when they released the Psycho R, it's like everybody was real excited about them because they didn't know anything about them. And it turned out to be a pretty good bag. We weren't too excited about the Vipers and those control dots, but we'll get into that a little bit more. So we're going to jump right into the speeds. And Ultra, I mean, they're so goofy with how they rate their speeds. It's a little confusing. The actual Vipers are rated a 7.9. With those control dots, I don't think it's a 7. Maybe the fabric is, but the control dots slow it down quite a bit.
They do.
And then the Psycho R's, I mean, they have different conditions, but it was like a 5 to 6 on the slow side and an 8 to 9 on the fast side. We're familiar with this fast side. It's never really a 9.
Right.
And this is an OG carpet, so it should be a lot slower than a 5 or 6.
Part of the big discrepancies we, bringing up about the speeds on this, when we put them on the ramp, the Psycho R's were faster, right? They were consistently beating the regular Vipers.
They were, and that was, I mean, I don't think the ramp's good for something with control dots on it, but the Psycho R's, I mean, they actually did look pretty fast compared to other things we run down that ramp.
Yeah, for sure. The control dots are going to react a lot different with spin on it, so it's not the best measurement, but still with that big of a discrepancy of what they're rated at, you'd think the Vipers would still win.
So we're ready for the materials, and obviously the Viper, it's got the Viper fast side on it. The Psycho R's, that's got that game changer Surefire fast side on it. The difference is that, the slow sides, Psycho R's got that OG carpet on it, but it's like shinier or something, or slippier. So it does feel faster and play faster than an OG carpet. I don't know what they did to it.
Under the template with these, the Psycho R's are, a large template, right? They're, full 6x6. Really.
Large to extra large, yeah.
Large, extra large. And I was expecting that out of the regular Vipers too, because I've seen a lot of Viper R's, and I think those stretch out a lot more than these do, because now these are, still a large bag. They're not the extra large that we're seeing with the Psycho R's. They're a little bit smaller.
Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of experience with regular Vipers before this set, but I always thought they were a bigger bag just by hearing people talk about them too. And they weren't as big as I thought they were going to be.
No, not at all.
But I really did like how big these Psycho R's are, because a lot of the time that, the OG carpet, you don't get a big bag like that.
Right. I didn't love that as much, but...
Moving on to fill and flop, and regular Vipers, I mean, they mainly got a flat fill. Again, I thought they were going to be a lot floppier, and you got these, I think, at the launch when they came out with the new designs, right? So it's been a while. I mean, half a year, if not more. And they just did not flop out as much as we thought. And then the Psycho R's, the exact opposite. I mean, super floppy. It's got a mixed fill in it, so it's nice and active for you and lets you perform all the shots.
Like I said earlier, these just never got that huge flop. This material does not stretch as much as the R carpet does.
Leads us to forgiveness, and the Psycho R may be the most forgiving carpet bag we've ever thrown.
Yeah.
An active carpet bag too, because you were rolling these bags on accident. Just with your normal throw it's pretty amazing. I was surprised. And then the Viper, I wouldn't really call that a forgiving bag, especially leaving your hand. It's like the control dots almost stick. They're like tacky or something, and it was hard to get a good throw with them.
Yeah, I did not think the regular Vipers were forgiving at all. I measure that by, not a perfect throw. What's it do? And this bag was all over the place for me, and I couldn't get that nice, consistent, just slide up into the hole, which I expected because it's, a Viper. The Viper R, no problem. It's a great hole-to-hole bag, and I just couldn't do that. I could not find comfort with that Viper. I didn't think it was forgiving to me at all. As Craig said, I found the Psycho R very forgiving. I didn't get a lot of unexpected kicks. Super easy for me to slide up in the hole. I was able to cut with it. I felt control when I had that bag. Next is whole bodiness, and I'll start with the regular Vipers. Not what I was expecting. I'm not going to say that they weren't very hole friendly, but they weren't very hole friendly. A lot of times I plugged the hole with them. They just, they would do your normal fall in that just about any bag will, but they just, not a Viper R. Those things are some of the most hole friendly bags I've ever played in my life. And these aren't even close to what an R carpet bag does. So for that, I'm saying their whole bodiness doesn't exist.
And then the Psycho R, I hate to sound like a broken record, but I was actually surprised at how that went in. Gauging, a slow OG carpet. I mean, that thing had some good hole bodiness.
Yeah, it really did, and I think it's because that carpet's faster than we were expecting.
Yeah, it's like they manufacture it or produce it or mill it or something differently. I don't know. It's just it doesn't act like the other slow carpets we've played.
Yeah, it doesn't. It had excellent hole bodiness and wanted to go in the hole when I wanted it to.
Collectibility, and this is where it's going to change a little bit. These Vipers, they are very collectible. It's something about if you get those dots to stick on anything, especially more the other dots or something, they just want to grab and take each other in. And what I found, airmail drags, especially if your bag's like sitting in front of the hole and you come in nice and low and stick with those dots. It was taking both of them in. I was very surprised at that and very happy with how they collected.
I agree with Craig that, airmailing, grabbing them is a great thing to do with the regular Vipers. I feel comfortable throwing an airmail. It feels like a heavy bag to me, a lot of weight. When you got to load up and throw one, it actually feels pretty good for doing that. And if you have one out front and stuff, running them into each other, it collected pretty well.
Yeah, then the Psycho R, I mean, it was what, average at best at collecting. I mean, it did collect, but it was better at like bunching up, getting around your blocker or whatever if you had to do that, or getting around your other opponent's blocker instead of actually bunching up and collecting the other bag. On the speed consistency, and I think the Vipers probably had a little bit better speed consistency because it seemed like every time I played those Psycho R's, they played differently, and it was never ever super slow, but you could tell at times they got slow.
Yeah, they did. I honestly struggled with speed consistency with both bags. Each time I played them, I just struggled to find that speed. I wanted to try and run and slide up the board. It's there, but it's something you got to work with.
Adapt to your condition.
Yeah. On to the capable shots. I'll start with the Vipers. Dirty game, they're great at. Block, excellent. I had no problem putting up blockers. I was able to stop it short every time, feel comfortable with a nice, easy collect behind. So they're really good at that. You can cut them. I had some, cut action and stuff, but it wasn't consistent for me. Like I said earlier, the bags were kind of all over the place. So it's in there, but it's not something the bag's going to be known for. Outside of that, playing the fast side is sliding up to the hole is what I ended up doing.
Yeah, the Psycho R's, I mean, this is, like I said earlier, he was rolling them by accident. It is an active bag. It is a very bouncy bag, and you can do any shots you want to do with that bag, including cutting. I mean, we were cutting the heck out of them, it felt like. So we'll talk a little bit about company information and Ultra. They're easy to find. I mean, their website's just ultracornhole.com. They do have a main Facebook page, which is just at Ultra Cornhole, and then there is a group on there you can join, which is at Ultra Fans. Cost for these bags, I mean, Ultra, they're kind of right in the middle nowadays, because they used to do weird things where, release prices were low and then they raised the price. And they seem to be pretty consistent at $95 nowadays, which is good.
Yeah.
And I actually just saw that they're giving their pros discount codes for the bags. As before, discount codes wouldn't work for bags. It would only work for apparel and accessories. So that's good. So, I mean, like I said, right in the middle.
But just the overall thoughts on these bags, the regular Vipers, the dots aren't for me. I didn't like them, didn't feel comfortable with them. The only thing I feel comfortable doing with this is blocking, playing a dirty game. There's way better bags out there to do that with that have more versatility than these. Psycho R's, I definitely like a lot better out of the two. I did a lot of good things with them. Had a lot of accidental rolls, like Craig mentioned. They make myself feel better for a little while, and then I played another bag, and that didn't happen. But outside of that, there's a lot of capable shots in that bag. It's definitely something to check out.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Justin. I like the Psycho R's a little bit more than I like the regular Vipers, and Viper R's are one of my favorite bags ever. So I really had high expectations for that bag, but it was just something about those dots that I just couldn't get used to. So that leads us to, do we recommend the bags? And I think we'd recommend Viper R's.
Yeah, I can't recommend these when the Viper R's exist. Just buy the Viper R's. Recommend Ultra. Don't get us wrong there. And we recommend the Psycho R's. Just buy the Viper R's instead of the regular Vipers. Dots aren't for us.
And we'll just end this with, if you're going to be average at something, may as well be average at cornhole.